Good afternoon. How is everybody doing? So I passed through Ely for a resupply, then I continued east. I'm back in Utah now, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite states. But the vast majority of the West is just so wide open and beautiful. You hardly have to plan ahead or use iOverland or stuff like that. Just start driving, and whenever you're tired, go down a back road and you will find yourself a wonderful spot where you can camp out and pretty much stay as long as you want. But this place was actually recommended to me by a viewer. I'm parked below Notch Peak, which is one of the biggest cliff faces in all of North America. There's a hiking route up it from the other side, so I'll probably make my way around to do that. And there's something else to the north of here that I'd like to see, so that's what's going on. Let's get right down to business. I'm going to make a meatball sub today, so I got to mix all this together in my pot. Plus a few other items. My magic knife didn't quite summon everything. Some breadcrumbs and also some olive oil. This pile of green stuff is parsley. So the recipe says to air fry this at 400 for 5 minutes. So I'm going to set it to 8 and just let this thing preheat for a couple minutes, then we'll throw it in. Yeah, you're going to need at least another 5 minutes. That was not nearly enough. The windows are all fogging up. I'm having myself a meatball sauna today. You saw it here first. I've got some garlic butter. Got myself a garlic bread base. Let's load this up. Yeah, I don't even want to attempt to eat this inside. It's gonna be all over the floor. Very messy, but incredibly good. These meatballs, really tasty. So yeah, just a quick walk from a van to go see the Hermit's Cabin of Margin Pass. So the backstory on this, a man named Bob Stinson, he fought in World War I, and when he came back, he found out that his girlfriend had left him. She moved on with her life, and he was very hurt, so he decided to hit the road. And when he got to this area, his vehicle broke down, and I guess he decided enough was enough. So he just ventured into this canyon and built himself a cabin. This was in 1929, and he stayed here for a good 30 years. And it sounds like he managed to pick up odd jobs while he was here doing road maintenance and trapping animals. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting life story. So yeah, he's put down a concrete floor, but yeah, it's very nice. Spacious, lots of headroom. And another prime example of just how simple a wood stove can be. It looks like a scrap piece of culvert. Probably use that as a lid to try and keep the smoke going in the right direction, but there's a lot of soot on the ceiling. But yeah, I imagine when it had windows on a door on it, it was very cozy. An interesting stop here in the middle of nowhere, Utah. This balances things out. Another YouTuber, she found one of my signatures in a cabin near Death Valley, so it's nice to see one of hers here. So he had a water collection system of pipes from upstream, and also that he had a still in operation, so he's making homebrew. He was living a good life out here. This used to be the main road, so there would have been a steady amount of visitors, but now it's pretty quiet. Well, it feels good to be back in wood stove territory once again, and this stuff burns so incredibly hot that the glass actually stays clean for once, and it burns completely too. This whole pile will barely be one scoop of ash once I run it all through. I got this stuff at the grocery store, about $5 a bundle, so it's a bit more expensive than heating with diesel, but so much more cozy, and it's a form of entertainment too. But for the most part, I've been having to buy firewood. It's kind of slim pickings, trying to find stuff out there. I've been able to find some scraps of juniper around now and then, but overall, mostly have to buy it. It's not until I get back further north and back up into Canada that it's easier to gather stuff as you go. I've been really thinking over about getting a dog too. I feel like I can pull it off, and that the benefits of having some company will largely outweigh the limitations that I'll face. I mean, it's easy enough to get a dog sitter for a few days if I decide to do an overnighter or something. The only thing is like world traveling, leaving for a month or two. I mean, that's a lot of time to leave a dog behind, but it could be a few more years before world traveling fully opens up the way it was a decade ago. And the weather forecast looks good tomorrow, so I'm going to set off to do this hike up Notch Peak. And once again, I'm going to be leaving the drone behind. It seems like the States is even more restricted than Canada for drone use. A lot of places are designated wilderness or national parks, so it's hard to find places to fly. I think the San Rafael Swell is all open, but that's something that could change in the future. But anyway, I'm going to enjoy my night, and I will see you tomorrow. It's a beautiful stone cabin here. It's a fixer-upper, but the structure is in really good shape. Yeah, look at that. Huh. It really cooled off last night, about minus 14 degrees Celsius, but it's sunny out, so it's going to feel a lot warmer than it actually is. And I've just been discussing with myself whether or not I should bring my snowshoes. It looks like about this much fresh powder. I don't think they'll be necessary, so I'll just go without them. It's only about 5 kilometers one way, so I'll be able to struggle through it. You can start to see it in the rock how it looks less like Nevada, more like Utah. So far I made the right decision not to bring snowshoes. It's just really light, fluffy powder. I'm just worried that an avalanche of snow is going to come over the edge of this canyon. That was another night, completely comfortable, sleeping with the doors unlocked. There's only been a couple times where I locked up, sleeping at Walmart. It's only happened to me once when I was up in Whitehorse. Somebody came in the night, started pulling on a door handle. Thank you for not also smashing the window. It's a little over 2 months now that I've been in the States. I'll probably head back to Canada in March. Yeah, I'm just still carefully thinking over getting a dog. If I could train it to climb in my backpack so I could scramble past the difficult parts, I mean, that would work. As long as it's not squirming around, causing a fuss, throwing me off balance when our lives are at play. This feels like the moment where Alex Honnold would just climb up over the edge and casually say hi, no big deal. So Salt Lake City is over there in that direction somewhere. And I think that's called Sevier Lake. Then looking back towards Nevada, that's Wheeler Peak over there, 13,000 footer. But yeah, not a bad little hike here. And it's beautiful with the fresh layer of snow over everything. It's hard to believe that was barely 900 meters of gain. I remember when I was doing Wheeler Peak, I thought it looked small, but that ended up being 2,000 meters of gain. So I think when mountains have big cliff faces, they just look bigger than what they actually are. But the day is still young, so I'm going to head into town and see if I can score some firewood and feed my addiction. I've been saying that I've been feeling tired lately. I think the last two hikes were really big. I pushed myself pretty hard, but also all the screen time has been frying my brain, so I've been trying to cut back on that. I got to look into cell phone rehab. I joke around, but it's probably a real thing in this day and age. But anyway, I think that's the end of another adventure. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along. Thank you to Patreon supporters, and I will see you soon.